Welcome, welcome. Good evening, everyone. It's great to see you all here tonight. And it's great to be together here at the Laurel Oak Country Club. I hope you're enjoying the room and enjoying the view and enjoying the company tonight as we'll be together celebrating this evening. My name is James Moudry, and I'm the Associate Head of School at the NewGate School. Tonight, we are gathered to recognize the NewGate students. This evening, we'll have speeches, poems, videos, and dancing. There's a lot to look forward to, and thank you all for coming. I'd like to thank the students for being the core of our school. You are why we are here tonight. You are why we show up every day. Are you passionate about science? We want to be passionate with you. Do you throw yourself into the arts? We love that too. Our politics and history, your cup of tea, outstanding. We love to be with you on your journey of discovery. NewGate is a place where student passions come to life. It is the school for students who are ready to do more and who want to be surrounded by interesting and interested people who feel the same way. I want to also thank the NewGate parents for being present and engaged all along the way on your students' journey. Being a Montessori parent can be hard. Supporting independence and real agency takes patience, intentional modeling, and letting go at just the right times so that your child's interests and personalities flourish. Thank you also to our amazing staff and faculty. We know that you give and give and give to help all these young people prepare themselves for their adult lives. You know that in the development, reality is key, and your energy to prepare experiences, activities, travel, and lessons directly supports the incredible outcomes and the future contributions of the NewGate alumni. Finally, also thank you to the celebration committee made of faculty and staff in the school who have worked to plan this week's events. Thank you for your energy and creativity in the planning of these events, including this gathering tonight. And with that, I will sign off and wish you all an amazing evening. Enjoy yourselves and the camaraderie, and enjoy the celebration of these amazing NewGate students.
NewGate's Poet Laureate, to share a poem to get our evening started.
It Couldn't Be Done by Edgar Albert Guest. Somebody said that it couldn't be done, but he with a chuckle replied that maybe it couldn't, but he would be one who wouldn't say so till he'd tried. So he buckled right in with the trace of a grin on his face, and if he worried, he hid it. He started to sing as he tackled the thing that couldn't be done, and he did it. Somebody scoffed, "Oh, you'll never do that. At least no one ever has done it." But he took off his coat and he took off his hat, and the first thing we knew, he'd begun it. With the lift of his chin and a bit of a grin, without any doubting or quit it, he started to sing as he tackled the thing that couldn't be done, and he did it. There are thousands to tell you it cannot be done. There are thousands to prophesy failure. There are thousands to point out to you one by one the dangers that wait to assail you. But just buckle in with a bit of a grin, just to take off your coat and go to it. Just start to sing as you tackle the thing that cannot be done, and you'll do it.
Thank you, Cohen. And now if I could invite the secondary faculty to come on. And we're going to share acknowledgments about each and every student in the secondary program. This school is all about community, and it's about finding your way to contribute and build community through who you are. And so you're going to hear a lot about how we have observed each and every student in the program and what they contribute to building the community that is so amazing here at NewGate. So this year, we're going to invite the entire cycle to come up at once. So I would also like to invite cycle 3 students to come and try to fill this space here. Seniors as well.
That makes sense.
See how long it takes them to work this out.
Okay, so we asked you to hold your applause until we've gone through the entire cycle's acknowledgments in interest of our evening. And Haley is going to be handing out a little memento of this acknowledgement that is a compass rose with NewGate School on the back. So Evelina, we're going to start with you. For her overall creativity, her perseverance, and self-awareness. For taking on large performance roles every year at NewGate, specifically in Robin Hood and Alice in Wonderland this year.
Cohen, for his dance passion and his representation of NewGate at Poetry Out Loud at the school and state level for 2023 and 2024.
Jaylene, for her grace amongst her rambunctious classmates in math class for the last 3 years, and for building a solo performance theater piece for her English project.
Gus, for his wit, love of popcorn, chicken, and rice, and situational problem-solving skills, as well as his emphasis on seeing multiple perspectives.
I mean, you learn a lot. Lucy, for her quick wit, motivation, and outstanding leadership as Robin Hood in the fall 3rd cycle play.
Alex, for his leadership skills, dedication to his education, and being willing to try new art styles and push himself artistically.
Dylan, for always bringing excitement and joy to Zoo. Even when it's an 8:30 a.m. class, and for his efforts to learn Portuguese.
There are efforts missing.
Nicholas, for his willingness to teach others with grace, understanding and patience, commitment to his education, and for being a strong leader in the student body over the last 3 years, and within the local community at that lab.
Mira, for welcoming new experiences over the course of her high school journey at NewGate, and for engagement in developing student dances throughout the years.
Varun, for his willingness to try new experiences and trip activities, and zest for life on the New York City trip, for his successful internship within the Humane Society.
Riley, for his sense of humor and his pursuit of college classes and a pathway to dentistry school.
Lily, for advocating for others and herself, and for her love of literature and writing, completing her internship with an article that will be published by SRG Media.
In the house. Oliver, for his understanding of the bigger picture and sharing that with his classmates and his natural skill in Q&A sessions related to all things aviation.
Chelsea, for leading student council as president and for organizing the school dance.
Bobby, for his openness to ask questions to deepen his understanding. An amiable member of the community invested in his self-development in relationship to his career interests in graphic design and marketing.
Juliet, for her bubbly presence and the joy that she spreads in the classroom, her piano playing that often flows through the early morning space on campus, setting a beautiful tone.
Vicky, for her discipline and consistency with work and respectful presence with teachers and classmates, and her burgeoning interest in sports journalism pursued with her internship.
Jack, for for sharing his love of music in the school production of Robin Hood and at several school festivals.
Elliot, for his thoughtfulness in all areas and community engagement with the student council.
Christopher, for his efforts with Kidstock, calm presence in the classroom, and for sharing photos of his swamp critters with all of us.
Cielo, for her growth this year and her self-awareness and her consistent hosting of Madison from Global Campus on her visits to the Lakewood Ranch events and trips.
And last but not least, Anton, for demonstrating high-level math critical thinking skills and his willingness to problem solve effectively.
So now you can have a round of applause.
Okay, good hecklers, you can return to your food.
And now, can I call up these second cycle kids that are here?
Awfully gonna yap. Oh, he's like, I'm gonna like sound school after this. You got sparkly shoes, I haven't seen those.
All right, we can get started.
Oh, it's mine, but
These are the Cycle 2 students, 9th and 10th graders. Our first is Aubrey for her dedication, her athletic prowess, and her leadership skills.
Arnold, for his sense of humor, his basketball skills, and his love of math.
Veda for her quick wit, contagious sense of humor, creativity, and artistic expression and ability.
Cha, for welcoming everyone and for generosity of spirit with others, and for reaching new heights, helping hang dance streamers.
Allie for her creativity, representing her cycle and her preparation for Alice in Alice in Wonderland.
Grace, for her kind heart, sense of humor, and openness to feedback.
Quinn for her care for animals in her life and learning more about this career field in her internship with Clark Road Animal Clinic.
Silas, for his attention to detail, love of Starbucks, and critical investigation skills.
KJ for his work in setting up Kidstock and for being a leader of his peer group in math class.
Eli, for her sense of humor, crossword solving abilities, and motivation in her work.
Sebastian for his love of music, his commitment to his work, and his wit.
Lucas, for his ready and consistent communication in geometry and willingness to try challenging problems.
Ben for his growth and study skills over the year and sharing his understanding with others.
Finn, for always helping with printing and technology challenges in class.
Finally, Isabella for her generosity, her willingness to help others, and for bringing her artistic ability into all aspects of her work. Big hand for the Cycle 2 students.
although
So, we're going to acknowledge all of our students that are part of NewGate's global campus. Most of them live in different parts of the world, so they're not in attendance with us tonight, but they certainly contribute a lot to NewGate's school community. Lucy does live here locally, so she is representing global campus, and we're going to share her acknowledgement first and allow her to return to it. Lucy Tridley, for taking the lead in discussions and classwork and for consistently bringing her best. Thank you. For Macy from Maine, for how she recognizes beauty and hope around her, captures it with her camera and creates it through her art and writing, for bringing us climate action now. For Ilikiza, who learns with us from Tanzania, for being a hero for the planet and mobilizing others to join her in that work within her environmental group Think Green in Tanzania. For Madison from the Cayman Islands, for leading and connecting people in our community challenging herself to make bonds within the Lakewood Ridge campus, and for keeping us stepping and world walking. For Ilikunda, also from Tanzania, for his work within his community, educating his peers through his environmental club, Think Green, and his internship with Project Inspire. Lucy Upton from Wisconsin, for perseverance, for a positive, hopeful outlook, for inspiring singing voice, and engagement in her equestrian life. Oliver Bartolomeo from Dunedin, Florida, for sharing his wide-ranging talents and interests with our community, for his kind and thoughtful spirit, and his Swim Mind Instagram project combining his interest in swimming and mental health for athletes. For Colin from Georgia, for his thoughtful questions, for always raising the bar for what quality work looks like, and for his fostering of laughter and connection within his community. For Lark from Longboat Key, Florida, for the welcoming and creative energy she brings us, and for being the heart of the Global Journal and her overall engagement in her community. For Brooke, also from the Cayman Islands, for sharing her voice with us, both the profound and the light-hearted, through her poetry and her spirit of gratitude. For Ira, learning with us from Key West, Florida, for his eagerness to learn and grow, for his fun sense of humor, and for his engagement for all the experiences, no matter what time of day, in Contemporary Island. For Kate from Sarasota, Florida, for her animal care, equestrian life, and willingness to make connections on campus at Lakewood Ridge. Emil from Dunedin, Florida, for his poetry writing and leadership in humanities class discussions and projects. Oliver Upton, also from Wisconsin, for his energy and enthusiasm, for making our online space warm and welcoming just by his joyful presence. Agape from Tanzania, for his weaving of the 3 strands of creativity, action, and service for CAS, and to his year-long project of building a soccer pitch for and with his community in Dar es Salaam. Ireland, from Prince Edward Island, Canada, for her enthusiastic sharing of her creative ventures in theater and singing with our community, and for hosting our global gathering, which just happened last week, in her home community of PEI, with a tremendous sense of hospitality. And Nadia from Mallorca, Spain, for her full presence in all conversations and projects, and her beautiful watercolors and piano composition shared at Showcase. Her brother Ian, also from Mallorca, Spain, for the quality and care he brings to his work, for his emerging leadership. A round of applause for the Global Campus. We wish they could be here in person because you really would want to meet all of these human beings. They're amazing, and we're really excited that they're part of our school. So thank you for listening, even though they weren't here. And now I will pass it to the middle school team.
Thank you, Amy. Good evening. If we can have the middle school students come up, please. Thank you.
Oh, well.
It's always first.
Where you're going? Where's he going?
Okay, we'll begin. Catherine, for the love of reading and writing that she emanates, for being a vocabulary guru and a beacon of creativity.
Thank you, Gillette.
Very well.
To Thomas, for his wonderful ability to lighten the mood with his humor, while also being a welcoming and inclusive presence in our classroom community.
Sandra, for for the amazing progress she has made in her creative writing and public speaking skills.
To Darshan, for being the ultimate experimenter and for teaching everyone everything he knows about science, especially all things electricity. And for being an amazing co-collaborator on projects.
Griffin, for being inquisitive and always giving full effort, for bringing his passions to life in class, for his willingness to contribute and share the work.
To Eli, for his creativity and discovering his writer's voice, and his passion for basketball and exceptional leadership qualities.
Kaylee, for her caring nature and her consistency of character.
Nathan, for his strong moral compass and for being a great role model for his peers, and for being a hard worker following through on his promises.
And a really good snack dude. Sebastian, for his exceptional team spirit, consistently positive attitude, and unwavering willingness to take on new challenges.
To Timothy, for his delight in learning and ability to see the funny side of things.
Liliana, for her diligent work ethic and her ability to collaborate effectively with close friends.
Giles, for his love of reading and the humor he brings to the classroom and his never-ending energy.
And for our newest student, that literally joined us a couple months ago, Owen, for seamlessly integrating into our class and quickly forming meaningful relationships. Congratulations. Miss Amy?
Thank you, Gillette. Next is Jenny Caskey with board. Griffin, if you would like to be on deck. So you'll see that later in the evening, the ceremony sort of turns to acknowledging and hearing from our senior class, who is moving on from NewGate into the next chapters of their lives. So at the same time, we want to celebrate new students, our 6-year students coming into the secondary program. So we're going to have some acknowledgments, and then Griffin is going to give them a welcome.
If I could have my 6th-year students who are in residence come on up. Right here. I want to begin with a few who are not present right now. So I want to start with my friend Ellie Feely. For her tenacity, her ever-present, or ever-practical, and steady approach to all things, her love of peace, of course, and her beautiful handwriting. To our student Talia Campbell, for her contagious kindness and compassion, abundant imagination and creativity, and dedication to doing her best. But last but certainly not least, my friend Jesus. Before I give Jesus his acknowledgement and recognition, I want to begin with how much he has inspired me, because I have watched him grow from a student who came without speaking a word of English to a student who gave a 20-minute amazing presentation on, give me, not mollusks, on cephalopods just the other day. And it blew my mind. And so with respect to that, I'm going to make an effort to try to give my recognition in Spanish. I'm going to read it though, because I practiced a lot, but I'm nervous. Por su pasión, por aprender y compartir conocimientos con otros, su fuerte sentido de responsabilidad y no se desea resto. Así que ahora lo diré en inglés. So in English, I tried to say, for his passion for learning and sharing knowledge with others, strong sense of responsibility, and this parent didn't know how to say in Spanish, so I said it in English instead. High-spirited approach to all challenges. Congratulations.
Now I invite Griffin Roberts to come and give a welcome speech as an 8th grader moving into the high school program at NewGate. And he wants to give a little bit of advice. So here it comes. Listen up.
Congratulations, rising 6th graders, on graduating to middle school and reaching the next part of your Montessori journey. Before I came into middle school, I don't think I could have been up here right now. I was really nervous of getting in front of big crowds, but I still am nervous, but slowly I've grown out of that throughout middle school and throughout all the experiences. I'll talk about 3 things that helped me grow in middle school that I believe can help the rising 6th graders too. And I wish I had learned these sooner. The first is creatively implement your skills into your work. I really like coding, and for 7th grade, I kind of just build games sometimes during school. And that really didn't correlate with the work. I don't know. But towards into 8th grade, I started thinking about how I could put that into the work to make like my work more interactive, because I like making games, and games are usually interactive. So I took my Spanish assignments, which was to create an animal portfolio of a specific animal, research it some, and then display all of the information in Spanish. And originally I had just been trying to kind of making a presentation, but with my coding, I turned that into a role-playing game where they could actually choose which path they wanted to go on, so they slowly learned about the animal as they advanced down the different paths. And it made it a lot more interactive. And I now try to implement it into anything. I feel like if I had done that sooner, my work would have been much better quality in 7th grade. And I probably would have spent a lot more time working on the work. The second thing is planning out for your day to be successful. Always bring a plan. In 7th grade, I didn't have a planner, and I missed some of the assignments, got some of them late. And then into 8th grade, again, I brought a planner. My mom was like, you can't be missing assignments. So I brought a planner, and during classes, I would just write down when stuff are assigned, when they're due. And that made it a lot less stressful for me to wonder, oh, do I have something due? Do I have enough time to do it? It made me have much more freedom, because I would just be like, oh, this is booked up for maybe the morning, but in the afternoon I have this free time, then maybe I can code, or maybe I can design something, or maybe I can come up with a new idea for something. And that made it much calmer in 8th grade, and I wish I had gotten a planner and learned how to use it in 7th grade. And then the third thing is understanding the community. And I believe that's more of like something that can help you in a lot of different ways, with like understanding the different people in the community as well. Understanding if somebody maybe is having a bad day, like comfort them, or maybe how to make friends. Or I really didn't, at the beginning of 7th grade and a bit into 8th grade, I was kind of, and still kind of now, kind of a bit more separate from everybody else. But because I've come to this understanding of the community, I'm able to understand what people are good at and what I really need to go to people for. So sometimes, like, I don't really know a lot about basketball, so I might go to Eli if he has something I might need to know. Or I really like being a team leader, so that's really helped me. When I'm in a group, I know what people like to do. And that has made it a lot easier for me to kind of fit in with everybody and know who to go to when I need help. And just as a little ending, I know the rising 6th graders will succeed if they accomplish these 3 things. creatively implementing your skills into your work, planning out your day and the entire week and month, and understanding the community. These are the biggest things that helped me grow in middle school, and I wish I had them in 7th grade.
All right, it is my pleasure to invite Lorna McGrath to this podium, a long-time contributor. Well deserved, a long-time contributor to the NewGate School in all the ways, currently as a NewGate School Board member, here to present the legacy of peace to our class of 2024. Thanks, Lorna.
Thank you, Amy, for inviting me. I am so happy and grateful to be here with all of you tonight. This is such an honor and a pleasure for me. You know, originally, NewGate School was actually called Countryside School because the Ashton Road campus was actually in the middle of the country. You know, there were no subdivisions. There were no highways. There were lots of farms and animals and gardens and things like that. So when Kitty Bravo and her former husband, Farmer Steve, when they opened the school, they called it Countryside. That was back in 1984. Now, I have been in and around NewGate School since 1990. 1990. I started as a teacher and then became a board member and an administrator and pretty much did almost every job except the one Manny used to do, I think. I don't know, they didn't want me for that one. Anyway, I've done pretty much everything at NewGate School over the years. And I'm very, very honored and happy that I have had that opportunity in my career. Thank you. So I just want to make sure that you know that this is NewGate's 40th anniversary. And, we did, of course, change the name from Countryside because we became not a countryside anymore, and somehow we became a NewGate. We won't even go into that. But I do want you to get out your Tomorrow's Child magazine, which you probably got home from school. Someone sent it home from school one day. This May issue, actually this highlight school in this May issue is NewGate School. And there's a story about NewGate School and photos from NewGate School. So you might want to check that out. And the other thing that's in here is a story written by a mom of one of our very first high school graduates. And it's about his journey at NewGate School, told by his mother, and her journey as a mom, single parent, who managed to keep her child from about 5 years old through high school at NewGate School. It's a good issue. You should read it. All right. So really, though, Amy asked me here to talk about Maria Montessori's legacy of peace. And that's what I'm here to do tonight. You have to remember about Dr. Montessori, you know, she never thought she was going to be in the field of education. She studied architecture, she studied medicine, and when she was in her part of her career that had to do with medicine and medical things, she became interested in children and how they learn and how they become able to be in society. And so that's how she kind of ended up in education. It wasn't really a plan. So this is the important thing to remember, that the Montessori method is not only an educational method, but it's also a model for building relationships and community. And it's lasted for now going on 150 years. This is no small accomplishment. have a quote for you from her that I want to read right now. And here's what she said about education. She said, you know, everyone talks about peace, but no one educates for peace. In this world, they educate for competition. And competition is the beginning of any war. When we start educating to cooperate and owe each other solidarity, that day we will be educating for peace. She was a brilliant woman. She said a lot of good stuff. So you can always find a quote that's really cool. Let's see, let me go on though. I want to talk to you a little bit about when she started really focusing on the idea of peace. And it was in the 1930s. And Europe, it was in between two world wars. And in 1932, she spoke to the International Office of Education in Geneva. And she spent most of the rest of her life really talking and lecturing and traveling around the world, around Europe, and talking about peace and how we can create that. So in this talk that she did for the people in Geneva, if you were there, it was almost as if she could see into the future. It was amazing what she talked about and how the world would become if we didn't really pay attention and do some things differently, actually. And so Aileen Wolf, fast forward, Aileen Wolf is a woman who was a fairly famous Montessorian. She did a lot of writing and she did a lot of publishing of things, and she opened her own Montessori business as well as schools. And she took that speech that Montessori gave in 1932 and she updated some of the language and produced a book called Peaceful Children, Peaceful World. And I just happen to have a copy right here. Another one of my visuals. Here we go. I didn't do a PowerPoint for you. Anyway, Peaceful Children, Peaceful World. And unfortunately, Aileen Wolf passed away a few months ago. And I thought, gee, I need to give something to the students at NewGate to kind of remember her, because she did a lot of good things. And so I went over to the school one day, and there was James, of course. But I didn't give the books to James, sorry. I went to Amy, and I said, Amy, I've got some copies of this book, and I think it would be really good for the students at NewGate. And Amy said, oh, wow, that's great. Our students are already studying that book. They already have it. I'm like, yes, the universe did it again, right? Okay, so that was very fun and exciting, and all of you, adults and children, should read this book if you can get a hold of it. It's not in print anymore, I'm so sorry to say, but it's amazing what Dr. Montessori thought about how the world was changing and what we needed to do about that. All right, so because of Montessori's work toward world peace and her belief in the goodness of humanity, she was nominated 3 times for the Nobel Peace Prize. Once in 1949, in 1950, and then 1951. It's unfortunate that they didn't choose her, but we're very proud that she was nominated. She did, as I said, she did believe in the goodness of children. And she believed that if we created school and home environments where children were respected and could contribute to their communities, that we could change the world. It starts with the children. It always starts with the children. They are filled with goodness, and we knock it out of them. And so, a few weeks ago, I had the opportunity to interview all of these wonderful students. Remember that, guys? Yeah. All right. We had a good time, and they reflected on their Montessori experience. And their reflections were eloquent and brilliant and articulate. And I so appreciate the time that you spent with me. And they talked a lot in their reflections about building relationships and about community. And about being in a community of appreciation and respect. Lucy, down there, hi Lucy. Lucy said that at NewGate, the students are encouraged to develop independently, voicing their ideas and exploring their passions and interests, while still appreciating their fellow students' ideas, passions, and interests, even though they might not even be the same as hers or someone else's. Varun said during that interview, he pointed out the valuable lessons from grace and courtesy, which is a huge part of Montessori curriculum, from the very youngest children in our school to the oldest children in our school. He talked about kindness and the importance of kindness and how at NewGate people are kind to each other. I so appreciate all that you guys gave me that day. You always lighten my life, and I appreciate it. So parents and friends that are here, if you've not seen the 2024 senior interview, it was recorded and it is available. You get James, or you get Sarah, or you get Jenny and Tim, and see if they can get you a copy of that, because it is amazing what these students had to say. They are incredible. Well, you know, some of you are thinking, well, okay, when's she going to get to the peace part here? Okay, I'm getting there. I'm not going to keep you much longer. All right, so I'm supposed to be talking about peace. And, you know, a lot of people have this idea that peace is the absence of war. But peace is not the absence of war. All the absence of war is that one group overpowered another group, and so that other group submitted to whatever that domination and oppression happened to be, and so stopped fighting. But that's not peace. That's just being overpowered and dominated. So let's do this. Let's remember what peace really is. It is really the presence of certain qualities and characteristics. And I want to just mention 7 of them tonight. Now that sounds like a lot. It's really not. I'm going to be fast. Okay? I know there are probably more that you can think of and may think of as I'm talking, but these are ones that I really feel like are really important to creating a peaceful environment. So the first one, and I don't think the other 6 really count unless you have this first one, is about respect. And without respect, I don't think that you can have peace. Respect for humans, respect for plants and animals, and respect for the earth. That's part of peace. The second one is empathy. There is so much power and strength in empathy. It's amazing. Empathy is the ability to understand and share the feelings of others. And we need that in this world. We need that in this peaceful world that we're going to create. We have it most of the time in Montessori environments. Third, we have to commit to nonviolence. We have to abstain from violence as a matter of principle. There is no way to get anything done in this world with violence and through violence. So that's an important one. Number 4, courage. So far, I've listed some things, and those things take a lot of courage. It takes mental or moral strength to venture, to persevere, and withstand danger, fear, or difficulty. So we need courage. 5, dignity. Dignity is the state or quality of being worthy of honor or respect. We need to honor and respect each other, each human being, each animal, this planet. It all deserves to have dignity. Number 6, justice. Man, this is one of our founding things in this country, this United States. And, you know, we're still working on that one. Because there's a lot of people here who don't really have or don't really experience justice. But justice is the quality of being impartial or fair. We need to be impartial or fair to all of our fellow citizens and human beings. And finally, this is a big one. This is a big one. Liberty. Liberty is the state of being free within society from oppressive restrictions imposed by authority on one's way of life, behavior, or political views. Please give us liberty, not freedom without license, not freedom, not license, but liberty and justice for all. So each of you seniors are going to get a book. Miss Amy's going to help me here. Each of you seniors are going to get a book. It's called, here's my last visual, everybody. Those of you in the back, you can't see it, I know, but it's here, really, truly. This is an old version. They don't get as pretty a one as I do. I got all kinds of colorful things, but this is Education in Peace. You all, you seniors, this is a collection of lectures and essays from Maria Montessori. And I hope that you will cherish it. Read it throughout your lives, not just now. Maybe you don't even have time now. Don't worry. Put it someplace. Don't lose it. Don't lose it. You're going to want it. And I hope that you will cherish it. So in closing, I just want to do one more quote from Dr. Maria Montessori. Thank you, Amy. Dr. Montessori said, an education capable of saving humanity is no small undertaking. It involves the spiritual development of humans, the enhancement of their value as individuals, and the preparation of young people to understand the times in which they live. So thank you all for listening and being so polite. I do appreciate it. And I wish you seniors the best in all that you do now and in your future to create peace in the world.
Thank you so much to Lorna McGrath. And as she, let's give her another round of applause. Like that. And as she referenced the interview that she did with the class of 2024. You should get a hold of that interview, but also you're going to get to hear them speak in a similar way right now. So now we're going to turn it over the rest of the ceremony to the class of 2024. They are anxious to share with you their thoughts about their journey up into this moment. And I would like to invite Varun Balusu to the microphone.
Hello everyone. I can't believe that I'm already graduating from high school. I feel like it was yesterday that I started 9th grade. I joined NewGate school in the 6th grade, and since then, I've grown a lot personally, socially, and academically. When I first came to NewGate, I had some major learning challenges and confidence issues. It took me a while to overcome those challenges. NewGate has offered me a safe space to learn and prosper as a student. It has provided me with the necessary support to overcome these difficulties. The school made some accommodations that allowed me to learn at my own pace and also provided a practical experience that made me more confident. This has contributed to my academic success and prepared me for the upcoming college journey. I have many people to thank for my personal and academic journey thus far. First, I would like to thank my entire family. My dad, mom, and sister for supporting me throughout my personal and educational journey. They believed in me and encouraged me to do my best. I will not forget the trip we took for college visits, all the conversations we had, and deciding which college I should attend, and so on. I am forever grateful to my family, and I love you all so much. Next, I would like to thank my learning coach, Dr. Alina Kipchumba. She was able to recognize both my strengths and weaknesses and truly help me grow as a person. I am so grateful that I have her in my life. She pushed me out of my comfort zone for me to realize my full potential. She did her best to help me in every way possible. I could not have come this far without Dr. Kip's help. I would like to thank all my teachers at NewGate who played a vital role in my educational journey. Their expertise and patience helped me learn challenging concepts well. While all my teachers contribute to my growth, I want to give a special shout out to Mr. Jeff and Mr. Alfonso. Most importantly, I would like to thank all my classmates for their friendship, collaboration, and teamwork during class activities and projects, and for being courteous to me. I will truly miss you when I head to college and will certainly keep in touch. I am who I am today because of all of you. Without the gift of all you in my life, I would not be able to graduate high school and go to a college of my choice. This fall, I will be joining Northeastern University in Boston, Massachusetts. Thank you. Although, my first semester will be in Madrid, Spain. I plan to major in cybersecurity and business analytics. I am very grateful for all I have been given in life, and I hope I have made the most of every opportunity. I shall continue to pursue my studies with hard work and determination, and will strive to achieve my potential. Thank you very much. Thank you, Nicole.
Thank you, Varun. Nicholas Cutler.
In 1938, a group of 724 Boston youth were all brought, one at a time, into a small college laboratory. And one by one, each adolescent was asked a long series of questions about their lifestyle, their physical and mental health, their aspirations, their happiness, and so on. Then, every 2 years, from the study's start in 1938 all the way up to today in 2024, these same participants would be asked a similar set of evaluative questions. And as you might guess, this diverse group of people took vastly different paths through life. And so, over such a long period of time, their answers changed dramatically to these questions. Some of the 724 unfortunately died young. Some became doctors, some struggled with alcoholism, some moved across the world, while some never left Boston. One of them even went on to become President of the United States. John F. Kennedy was one of the 724. Now, the goal of following these people through their lives and tracking their habits, health, and lifestyle was to answer one question. What are the predictors of a healthy, happy life? Now, according to surveys, if I were to ask this question to all of you right now, many of you would mention factors such as physical health, living conditions, or maybe financial success. Although admittedly, I might get different results as I'm talking to a room full of Montessorians. However, after tracking these hundreds of participants through nearly the entirety of their lives, the study found that above all other factors, the greatest predictor of happiness is the quality of social relationships. The warmth of a person's relationships had by far the greatest impact on happiness, quality of life, physical health, mental health, and even financial success through every stage of life. So now, you might be wondering, why in the world did I just spend the first minute or so of my speech talking about this clickbait-sounding study on happiness? And I'm aware it's a graduation speech, it's not a podcast with a declining audience. The reason I wanted to share these findings with you is because as I reflect on my NewGate experience, my Montessori experience, and my broader high school experience, one of my biggest takeaways has been the resounding truth which lies in the findings of this study. I've come to learn that one of the greatest aspects of the Montessori philosophy is the emphasis that it places on community. Because truly, when push comes to shove, it's the communities that we're a part of, which get us through our days and through our lives. So now, I want to take a moment to thank the many people who have created this community and who have made it possible for me to be standing on this stage today. First up, I want to thank all of the incredible teachers who I've had the privilege of learning from and getting to know over the years. To Miss Haley, my math teacher, I want to give you a huge thank you for always believing in me and always pushing me and challenging me to go just a little bit further. Over the years, I've learned so much from both Miss Haley, the math teacher, and from Haley, the friend. Thank you so much. Now, I'd like to thank the art teacher, Miss Sarah Jane, for doing the impossible. In the 1 year I've known her, she turned me from someone who never liked creating art into someone who could tolerate creating art. So thank you for letting me explore different mediums in your classroom. To Mr. Glenn, I want to thank you for always posing interesting ideas and questions in your TOK class. It's been amazing to know you over the past year and share many great laughs. Your lessons are ones that I'll carry with me for the rest of my life. Thank you. Now, I want to give a huge thank you to one of my favorite teachers, Mr. Jeff, his wife, Miss Cheryl. For those of you who don't know, Miss Cheryl was my teacher from 1st to 3rd grade, And I do want to take a quick moment to acknowledge her, because I remember at the end of first grade, when I had attended the recognition dinner, at the end of the night, we're actually standing just over there by that door. She pointed to this very podium, and she said to me, when you're up there, don't forget about me. So I just wanted to say, Miss Cheryl, I never forgot about you. I'll always cherish the memories that I made in your classroom. And while on the topic of past teachers, I want to take a quick moment to thank and acknowledge Miss Jenny, Miss Jackie, Miss Natasha, Miss Semendi, Miss Caitlin, Mr. Anthony, and Miss Lydia for being such great and memorable teachers. Yeah. Now, going back to Mr. Jeff. Thank you for always making learning engaging and fun. You have undoubtedly had a massive impact on my life and have served as an incredible role model and inspiration over the years. And even if your jokes only have a 50% success rate on a good day, they are funny every once in a while. It truly has been a pleasure to take global politics with you. Thank you for everything. To Mr. Alfonso, thank you for not just being a great biology teacher, but also for being a great life teacher. The lessons which you have taught me both inside and outside of the classroom have been invaluable. You were such an incredible resource for me while trying to figure out my career and college path. Also, I don't think there's anybody who I can confidently say is funnier than you. Sorry, Mr. Jeff. Thank you so much. To Miss Amy, thank you for always supporting me and instilling in me an appreciation for reading and writing. I've become an infinitely better reader, writer, orator, and performer because of you. I hope that you know I look up to you greatly as a role model, and I can't thank you enough. To my Spanish teacher, Miss Alicia, hace apenas unos años nunca hubiera imaginado poder estar aquí y hablar con confianza en español, pero gracias a usted y a su increíble enseñanza he podido crecer mucho como hispanohablante. Muchas gracias por preocuparse siempre por todos y cada uno de nosotros. Now I'd like to give a huge thank you to family members who have made this possible. To my mom and dad, thank you so much for always being so unconditionally supportive. You have both been such great role models to have throughout my life. Thank you so much for everything. I love both of you. To my brother Jackson, thank you for always having such a great and lively sense of humor and for always being there for me through the years. Also, thank you for sharing your cat fish stick with us while you're home from college. To my Granny Danny, thank you so much for all of the fun memories, laughs, meals, and advice you have given me over the years. I'll always cherish all of our conversations, and I hope you're okay with me sharing one of my favorite pieces of advice you have given me, which is why do today what you can put off for tomorrow. But also, thank you for all of the more serious advice that you've given, and thank you for always taking an interest in my life. I love you, Granny. To Mama, first off, thank you so much for coming all the way here from Boca to watch me graduate. I'll always cherish the memories I have, sitting in your living room after a great meal, playing cards and discussing what's going on in our lives. Thank you so much for everything. I love you, Mama. And I also want to give a huge thank you to all the other family members who made it here tonight. Uncle Peter, Aunt Julie, and my cousins Jocelyn and Sam. Thank you so much for always being so supportive. And now, last but not least, I'd like to give a massive thank you to all of my friends and classmates over the years. Whether I've only known you for a year or if I knew your name before I knew how to read it, thank you so much to each and every one of you for all the laughs, conversations, and memories that we've shared. I truly believe that each and every one of you have made a positive impact on my life in one way or another. Thank you. And then finally, as I conclude my NewGate experience, I'm left with a sincere feeling of gratitude. Through all the ups and downs, I can't help but be thankful for all that this school has given me and for the community which it has provided. Thank you all for listening.
Thank you, Nicholas, and now I'd like to invite Cohen DePiero.
There are pros and cons. There are pros and cons to attending such a small school. A pro is you get to know all of your classmates very well, especially if you're together for multiple years. A downside is you rarely get to meet new people and make new connections. So if you aren't part of a tight-knit friend group, it can get a bit lonely sometimes. In 11th grade, I didn't have very many close friends, and I didn't really know what I wanted to do with my life. I wasn't exactly sure what to major in or what career to go into. I had ideas, but didn't have my heart set on anything specific. But I did like performing in school plays, reciting poetry for Poetry Out Loud, and just generally speaking to the public, like I'm doing right now. Then, one day, we went on a field trip to see a dance group perform, and that show changed my life. The dancing looked so fun and athletic, so I wanted to give it a try myself. I looked online for nearby hip-hop dance classes, but I didn't really find anything, so I settled for ballroom dance instead. And now, a year and a half later, I'm still ballroom dancing. During that time, I realized that I don't want to do 4 more years of school, so starting later this month, I will be interning at my dance studio, Arthur Murray Lakewood Ranch, and I will be training to become a professional ballroom dance instructor. Now, I would like to thank my immediate and extended family for always supporting me, especially in my dance career, and just generally being very cool and chill. I love you guys. I would like to thank Riley for always sticking with me and being a great friend. I thank Miss Haley for being such a fun and supportive teacher. I thank Jeff for teaching the most interesting classes, global politics and world history. And of course, I have to thank Miss Amy for giving me many opportunities to perform, hosting Poetry Out Loud every year, running internship week, and setting up the field trip that changed my life to be so much better. Thank you.
Thank you, Cohen. And he's going to be giving dance lessons at the dance party at the end of the night, so get in line. I'd like to invite Gus Ferris.
Good evening to all. If you don't know me, my name is Gus, and this is my 7th year at NewGate. Throughout my 7 years, I've been able to grow myself not only as a student, but as a human being. NewGate has taught me so much that I'll be forever grateful for. I've been in Montessori since I was 18 months old, so it's been a little bit, it's been one of the biggest parts of my lives. So as such, I would like to start off with a quote by the leader herself, Maria Montessori. Free activity makes children happy. We can see how happy they are, but it is not the fact that they are happy that is important. The important thing is that a child can construct a man through this free activity. This quote is really personal to me, as throughout my life, I have always tried to build my overall character. It was not always easy, but I feel as if I've made pretty steady progress so far. However, this could not be done without the love and support of my family. I would first like to thank my mom. She has always been my biggest supporter. I know we haven't always gotten along the best, but I hope you know, no matter what I said or did, I always love and appreciate the things you have done for me. I don't think I would be standing right here today if it wasn't for you to push me through my academic limits throughout my whole life. You're the most caring person I know, and you always have the best advice whenever I need it. You are the guiding light of my life, and I will never forget all the little things you have done to make my life successful as it has been. Dad, you have always been someone I can look up to. Your power to continue through hardships has always been something that I can only dream of. You're loving and caring, no matter if we say it to each other or not. I always notice the little things you do for me. Even if my heart takes me astray, I remember all the times you completely restarted yours, and how you never made it seem like it was never a big deal, even though it was life or death. And that gives me motivation to stay on the right track for you. I am forever grateful for the start of my life that you guys have given me. I love both of you to the moon and back. My sisters Kason and Merritt, you are the best friends a person could ever ask for. Even though we used to fight almost every day when we were younger, I always appreciated the lessons those hardships taught me. I've learned so much from you two, whether it comes to communicating my feelings so I feel heard, all the way to having academic heights that I need to work towards. Merritt, you will always be the perfectionist of this family. I love both of you with all my heart. Grandparents, these are some of the most important people in a person's life. Even though my grandmother Juju isn't here, I know she is looking down on me with all the love a human can give. Then there's my grandfather, Miffy, who I hope hears this. You always changed who you were just to make me and my siblings happy. You made my childhood more special and meaningful. I will never forget the memories and lessons you have taught us. I love you both more than words can describe. Whenever I use one of the lessons you taught me, I will remember you for the rest of my living life. I would also like to give a quick shout out to my cousins. You guys are fun to be around, and I hope to see you guys more in my future. And then of course my Granny Carrie, I don't talk to her a lot, but I know we don't talk much, but I wouldn't be the man who I am today with all the manners and all if it wasn't for you. Now with those out of the way, I would like to thank my classmates. Though I've known some of you longer than I have known others, every single one of you individually has made a drastic impact on my life. I will always have fond memories of NewGate because of you guys. Each one of you has made my academic life more interesting than it probably should have been. Sometimes taking me off track in class, but those distractions I will always hold dear to my heart, as most of them were some of the funniest moments of my life. Teachers, the leading force of the next generation. You guys make education worth doing, always making sure each of us individually has our needs met. I will always be grateful for the effort you guys have put forth towards my success. No matter the challenge, you guys have taught me that there is always a way through it. You guys are some of the most important people in my life. I hope everyone here, you guys are some of the most important people in my life, and I really appreciate all that you've done for me. So I just want to say thank you. I also would like to thank each and every single one of you. Each of you has made an impact, big or small, on the people surrounding you. Even if you don't think they're grateful for it, trust me, they are. Thank you for being you.
I'm going to pull this up for all the people that are much taller than me. I'd like to invite Dylan Foley to the mic.
As Miss Amy just said, my name is Dylan. And I'm the longest lasting current NewGatian, starting here when I was 18 months old. So I've seen the ups and downs of NewGate. I've seen it grow, I've seen it shrink, and I've made bonds with friends that will hopefully last a lifetime. Friends like Gus, Alex, Nicholas, Riley, and the many others that I've made here. The late nights playing video games and just hanging out, talking about random things that would make us laugh have been some of the best nights of my life. There are many people that have helped me throughout this journey, lots of role models, teachers, and peers that I was able to count on and that were there for me throughout my ups and downs. Growing up, school was never my thing, and all the teachers knew that. So thank you to all the teachers that have helped me want to learn and push me to be the best self, even from the beginning. My beginning time here at NewGate, starting with Miss Lauren. Thank you for potty training me and keeping my mother sane. Miss Welma for her patience and kindness and going above and beyond in the classroom. Miss Cheryl, Miss Jackie, and Miss Jenny for having to deal with my angry phase of my life. And to all the other teachers that have helped me bring me up throughout those years. I would also like to thank Miss Amindi and the other teachers that have had to deal with everyone on Zoom and for keeping us focused. And last but not least, the teachers that have had me and my classmates for the last 2 years. Miss Haley for always being lenient on things, and being understanding. Mr. Jeff for always putting the hammer down and keeping everyone on track. Miss Alicia for being willing to do 2 different languages in one class because I wanted to be special and do Portuguese. Miss Natasha for always being chill and somehow being able to completely disregard the conversations me and my friends have. Mr. Aaron, even though I only knew him and I've had him this year, I was happy to be able to be in his class. Thank you for always being supportive of me and for checking up on me. And Glenn, for always making the classes fun and somehow tolerating my not so good reading habits. And of course, Miss Gabby and Mr. Alfonso, for being like a third family to me, for feeding me and always being willing to help me. It helped me out, inside and outside of school. These amazing people are what made me want to remain at NewGate for all these years. And of course, I wouldn't be here if I didn't have an amazing family supporting me. I'm going to start by thanking all my grandparents for always coming to all my extracurricular activities like jiu-jitsu tournaments and soccer games, and especially for having to attend all of those operas that I've done. My dad and my stepmom Jordan for always taking me on adventures and helping me see the world. I will never forget going to Hawaii and the RV trip to the many different national parks. Thank you for showing me that I have a love for the outdoors. And my little brother Hudson for always bringing good mood to everyone. You probably heard him once or twice throughout this entire time. And next, I would like to thank my stepdad Manny. He is my professor and a great role model. He makes me want to push myself and better myself. He showed me how to do manly things like change tires and do some construction work. And of course, he showed me how to train jiu-jitsu. He's always there for me, and no matter what, he has helped me and my mom through hard times. Thank you. And last but not least, the person that's helped me grow the most was my mom. Growing up, my mom was the one who took care of me. She worked her butt off being a single mother and wanted to give me the best life that I could have. She jumped through fiery hoops and worked multiple jobs to keep me here at NewGate. The past few years of our lives were turned upside down because of an unknown sickness that would make her have seizures and she would pass out randomly, making it hard for her to do anything, but she always made sure that I was her first priority. She was the one that brought me into jiu-jitsu and made sure that I was always able to do the things that I love. She's the best mom I could have asked for. These past few years of high school were definitely not the most normal because of Zoom classes and family issues. But thanks to all the people that I've mentioned and many more, they made it possible for me not to only graduate, but help me through this weird thing called life. Thank you.
Hi, Hudson. Thank you, Dylan. I'd like to invite Riley Gasol onto the mic.
Hello, everyone. Well, I want to start off by saying that when I first started high school, I was very afraid of public speaking. And, well, I'm happy to announce over the past 4 years, absolutely nothing has changed in that. Still very terrified. So on that note, I'll be giving my personal thanks to people one-on-one afterward. But in summary, I would like to thank all of my teachers who took their time and effort to educate me well. I'd also like to thank all my friends who would make my days at school a lot more fun. And most of all, I want to thank my mom for being there for me throughout it all. I really would not be here without your support, and I love you very much. Thank you, everybody.
Riley, you couldn't have fooled us. That was amazing. Thank you. Lucy Morse.
Hello, I'm Lucy Morse, and I have been going to NewGate since junior year and went to Meadow Montessori School for preschool through sophomore year. Wait, I forgot that a certain Kathy Calder, my longtime head of school and a proud grammarian, once told me in 9th grade never to start a speech with my name and the number of years spent at school. Then she demanded I speak up and smile more. That was my middle school graduation speech. Well, I'm sure Miss Kathy would have much to say about this speech, but she's not here, so I can do whatever I want. I'm lying, of course. Throughout my years of schooling, all the people around me, my teachers, friends, and mentors, have taught me that I can't just do whatever I want. I was taught to be respectful, independent, and competent. I was taught to love learning, even when I really didn't want to love learning. I'd like to take the time to somehow acknowledge everyone who has played a role in my education thus far and has filled my memories with learning, friendship, and laughter. I started my schooling journey at Meadow Montessori School. This is where a certain Miss Holly Miller taught me how to count and cut paper. Miss Rebecca Collum taught me how to add, subtract, multiply, and divide, and where Miss Tatiana Howard taught me how to read and write in cursive. These are the people with whom I have the earliest memories of really learning. These people paved the way for me to find success in upper elementary, the classroom of Miss Meg Fedorovich. She taught me history and how to symbolize a sentence. She showed me the first great lesson and taught me decimals and fractions. Then I moved on to middle school, where Miss Whitney Harden taught me how to use algebra and how to write in MLA format, while Miss Janae taught me creative writing. High school is the time from which I have the most vivid memories, however, and some of the most meaningful. In 10th grade, Mr. Jeff LaRue taught me about nuclear history, about famous painters like Renoir and Seurat, and about how Alfred Nobel created the Nobel Prize. He loved art and music, and I have fond memories of making homemade pins with my friend for him with various silly doodles we made, all of which found a home on his favorite tote bag. I was taught geometry, environmental science, and how to write a research paper, along with so much more, by the bird and plant-loving Mr. Robert Peven. We called him Mr. P. I remember when I and my classmates once went on a nature walk with Mr. P, and we realized that he could easily be distracted from the time by simply asking him something along the lines of, "Hey, what's this plant? Why does it look like that?" He would start answering our questions in great detail, while we were just excited to have stalled him long enough to not get back to geometry class on time. We unintentionally learned so much about botany with that beautiful strategy, although I'm sure Mr. P knew exactly what we were doing. If he didn't, the secret's out. Geometry was also taught by Mr. P, and he would start every class by exclaiming loudly, "Let's do some math," followed by the extremely loud thud of him smacking the workbook down on the table. He made math class interesting and encouraged me to pursue taking pre-calculus with Miss Kathleen Shepard. Miss Shepard taught me advanced trigonometry, the unit circle, and on one occasion told all of my class we were wrong to say that the number 8 only had 2 cube roots, 2 and -2. Then she taught us about complex numbers. The number 8 does not, in fact, have 2 cube roots. That might not make sense to some of you, but trust me, it's cool and my mind is blown. In junior year, I moved and joined the NewGate community, where I met Mr. Jeff Allen, who immediately welcomed me into my new school. Mr. Alfonso taught me biology, Mr. Morgan taught me derivatives, Miss Haley taught me integrals, and a lot more. Mr. Glenn taught me how to think more deeply about the simple things. Miss Amy Kramer taught me how to think about literature analytically and encouraged me to have fun acting on stage. In the meantime, Mr. James helped keep the NewGate community in my senior year just as wonderful as I'm sure it always has been. To all the names I've mentioned so far, from my Meadow Montessori years and my NewGate years, thank you for everything that you've done to make my learning experience as lively as ever, and for helping shape me into whatever shape I am now. I like the shape. In addition to these names, I'd like to acknowledge a few more meaningful ones, so buckle up. Miss Caitlin Gilbert, Miss Sandy Lettner, Miss Kathleen Folkrod, Miss Shauna Ware, Miss Betsy Levens, Miss Caitlin Roper, Miss Sarah Jane Bogliati, and Miss Dawn Forder. Thank you for helping me achieve my musical, artistic, and athletic endeavors. And for my Mandarin teachers, Miss Carol and Lynn Larcher, 老师们好，我觉得你们都知道我最喜欢的科目不是中文，可是我想感谢你们，因为我觉得我现在不仅会说一点中文，你们也是我的朋友。谢谢你们教我。I'd also like to mention and thank specifically Mr. Kevin Fredenberg, Miss Carrie Hickman, Miss Heidi Burrows, Mr. Gregory Lansing, the Mandel family, the Weiss family, the family of Gracie Doderline, and Newgate's Mr. Anthony and Mr. Gillette for going out of their way to support me, even though they were not my own teachers. I'd like to thank my friends for sticking with me and making me smile. I find myself unable to list all of your names because there are simply too many of you, although I think that's a good problem to have. Finally, I'd like to thank my mom and my baba for teaching me things about the world outside of the school day. All of these names I've said throughout this speech have had a great impact on me and how I move through the world, and unfortunately, I'm sure there are a few names that I've missed. Regardless, every single one of them have been the subject of countless stories which have all been added to my mental scrapbook of memories. There's plenty of room in that book for new memories with new people as I move my life forward, but I'm so glad to have so many of those pages dedicated to the people of Meadow Montessori and Newgate Montessori. Thank you.
Thank you, Lucy. Jaylene Rodriguez.
Hi everyone and good evening. My name is Jaylene if you didn't know, and I started Newgate in 10th grade. And although it seems like a while, the years have gone by very quickly and I am very grateful to have been a part of this community. I'd like to start off by thanking the teachers and faculty that have helped me and worked with me throughout the school year. I want to express my gratitude to Ms. Heyman. I always appreciate your efforts in keeping math engaging and coming into school in person, even though you live out of state. Your help with events like senior brunch and research trips haven't gone unnoticed, and I appreciate your effort in ensuring we are taken care of. To Mr. Jeff, although you taught through Zoom, you continued to be a consistent and amazing teacher. I always enjoyed our PE trips to the park, and your humor and jokes always kept class fun. Another special thank you to Mr. Glenn. It has been a pleasure getting to know you this year. You are a very kind and understanding and great teacher who always finds ways to make lessons engaging. For Mr. Alfonso, I love the cahoots that we did in class this year and appreciate your effort in making our senior year special by bringing us snacks and confetti poppers. Profesora Alicia, gracias por intentar enseñarme español este año. You have been a great teacher and are always willing to help. Agradezco sus esfuerzos. To Ms. Amy, although there were times where you pushed me out of my comfort zone, it has really been for my benefit and has helped me to grow. I really appreciate all your help and effort throughout the school year. To my art teacher, Ms. Sarah, it has been a pleasure getting to know you this year. Thank you for teaching us new art techniques and keeping art engaging and fun. Thank you to Mr. James for being understanding and helpful throughout the school year, and to Ms. Sarah, for our guidance counselor, for helping me throughout the college process. But most importantly, I would like to especially thank my family for always being there for me and supporting my ambitions. To my mom and best friend, you have always been there for me since day one, and I am especially thankful for all of your sacrifices you have made for me. You've been one of my biggest supporters, and I am so grateful to have you in my life. To my dad, thank you for always being there for me and for supporting my dreams. You have always told me to follow my passions and goals, and I'm forever grateful for your support and dad jokes. To my grandma and Titi Jessica, thanks for always having my back and being there throughout the whole year for me and being my biggest supporters. I am excited to begin this new chapter of my life, and I'm grateful for everyone who has contributed to my success. Thank you.
Thank you, Jaylene. Jack Rizzo.
So, I'm coming up here and I want to speak from the heart because I feel like authenticity is one of the most important things you can have in this world. And so I was gonna go through a list of people I wanted to thank, and I realized that I couldn't thank everyone to the level I wanted to, because every single person in my life has led up to who I am. Like, every single person I've ever interacted with affected part of me, and so for that I'm forever thankful, and it's really made who I am. But specifically, I want to thank my parents because they've been with me my whole life. They've gone through everything that I've made them deal with, and it's a lot of work because I don't know, I put them through a lot, and They've been there with me the whole time, and I'm also forever thankful for that because, again, like the level you guys changed my life and formed who I am. I'll never be able to repay that. So that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Jack. Evelina Kraus.
Hi. My name's Evelina, and I've been at NewGate for 5 years. And in most schools, public and private, only a select few graduates are given a speech at graduation. So given that, I feel very thankful and gifted to be up here with the rest of my class. So I went to my first graduation. Sorry. I went to my first NewGate graduation in 2021. It was outside, and the speeches were given there because recognition dinner wasn't possible due to COVID. But that's what I remembered most, listening to all the seniors give their speeches, and how moved and excited I was to discover that I would one day be able to give my own. I even went home that night and started writing bits and pieces in my notes app, which I did not find. And here I am, still wondering, still feeling like I'm missing something. So I suppose I'll just start out with my thank yous, beginning with my teachers throughout the years. Thank you to Miss Haley. You've always adapted to each individual learning style. I will forever appreciate you for that. Thank you, Miss Natasha, for always caring and being kind when I needed someone. And I'm sorry that you always walked in at the wrong time. Thank you to Alfonso. You always give a good laugh, but even better advice. Thank you to Glenn for always keeping me on my toes. I hope I did the same, and I wish I could have gotten to know you more as a teacher. Thank you to Miss Amy for constantly pushing me to be a better student, and thank you to SJ for constantly pushing me to be a better artist and helping me maintain those goals. Thank you to Mr. Anthony, best PE class ever, and I enjoyed helping you and Mr. Gillette escape the middle schoolers. And last but not least, Jeff, even though you're not here, I'm sure you're hearing this somewhere. You've been here since the beginning of my high school years. You've taught me many things, some about history, but mostly about life and friendship. I will forever cherish your lessons, and I do not mean the 20 million page Kirch texts. Thank you for laughing with me, for crying with me, and for always supporting me no matter what. You've impacted my developmental years greatly, and I don't know if that's a good or bad thing. I guess we'll see. You were a great teacher, an even greater mentor, and I will forever remember all you did for us. Thank you, Jeff. Now, to my family. Thank you to the Pierces. I will forever be thankful for all you've done. I've enjoyed getting to know each and every one of you as family and hope I can keep those connections through my adulthood. Thank you to my straights. You're the funniest and smartest person I know. You don't hear that enough from me. Thank you to Teta. I don't know anyone that has as much life as you do. You're my rock. I'm forever thankful to call you my godmother. Coolest godparents ever. Emily, my day one, my 20, my roommate. I will forever be thankful to have you by my side. I could have never done it without you. And happy birthday. I love you. And I really do want to thank my graduating class. Although I never planned or agreed to be the graduating class of 2024, you allowed me to join you, let me feel comfortable in myself, and accepted me for who I was. Although we're moving on to our own paths, please don't be a stranger. A few years ago, I never would have written half the things I said today, if not all. So even if I did find my notes, they'd be pointless. It takes a lot of nerve to say this, but I've grown to appreciate my experiences, personal and Montessori, because without them, I wouldn't be the person I am today. I learned to embrace my true self and my story, and will forever be thankful to the community at NewGate for teaching me the value of individuality and self-love. Thank you.
Thank you, Evelina. And we do have two more seniors who are going to share their words with you, but I have a song that I think you all know the words to that's called Happy Birthday, because today is Evelina and her twin Emily's 18th birthday. So I think we're going to sing happy birthday. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Emily. Happy birthday to you.
Thanks. And in Montessori, we like to get everybody engaged in doing something too. So thanks for participating. And now I would like to invite Alex Smith to the podium.
Good evening, everyone. I feel tremendous pride and honor to be part of such a special occasion, and this could never have been possible without the help of so many incredible and special people. To the many faculty members, family, administrators, mentors, and friends, especially those who have gone above and beyond for me, I genuinely cannot thank you enough. To begin, I would like to thank Mr. Tim Selden, because without him, I likely would not have developed into the person I am today, especially without the opportunity to attend such an amazing school. Thank you. Next, I would like to thank my teacher. Miss Cheryl, thank you for teaching me to love not only learning, but also a challenge. As a teacher, you constantly pushed me to heights I didn't believe were attainable, teaching me lessons and creating memories I will never forget. I still remember the very first time you introduced me to arguably everyone's favorite part of math, letters. What an adventure that was. To Miss Jenny, thank you for the immense amount of time and energy you spent with me that helped shape who I am today. For all the math facts, English lessons, and Latin roots, although I may or may not have forgotten those, I am eternally grateful for how you shaped my academic future. And yes, I still remember the stick-on mustache, which will eternally live in my memory. To Mr. Anthony, thank you for always showing me support and entertaining our unique conversations over the last 3 years I've been fortunate enough to know you. Whether it was discussing video games, your exquisite fashion, or waking me up from sleeping in biology class by dropping one of the biggest hardcover textbooks in the room, smack on the table, right next to where I was totally paying attention to the inside of my eyelids. You have always showed me a tremendous amount of support, to which I'm very grateful. To Ms. Natasha, thank you for always being there to lend a helping hand throughout this past year, as well as all the lessons you have taught me both this year as well as in upper elementary. Your kindness, empathy, and encouragement were always felt and welcomed, especially during the stressful days filled with IB deadlines and exams. Mr. Glenn, your classes were not just lessons in philosophy, they were invitations to explore the depths of our own thinking and the world around us. Although our time together at NewGate was brief, I have learned so much from you over this past year. You have taught us to question the status quo, seek deeper truths, and to appreciate the beauty of a well-reasoned argument. Thank you. To Miss Amy, thank you for the incredible amount of effort and time you put into ensuring success in IB Lit and Perf, as well as the instrumental role you played in my growth as a writer and a performer. Without your expertise, I would not have developed into the writer nor the performer I am today. Thank you. Senor Alfonso, your tireless efforts and unwavering support, both in and outside the classroom, have left a mark on each and every one of us. Your desire for excellence and dedication to teaching made every class delightful. Gracias, Senor. Senora Alicia, thank you for everything you have done in pursuit of ensuring we rose to the highest level of Spanish attainable. Sin usted, no tendría el nivel de fluidez en español que tengo hoy. Me has enseñado muchas lecciones como el tiempo pretérito y subjuntivo, así como me has empujado a esforzarme por la fluidez en español. Gracias por todo. To Miss Sarah Jane, your guidance has not only honed my artistic skills, but has also taught me the value of perseverance and self-expression. I do not believe I would have seen the success in IB Art without the expert help you provided me during this past year, nor do I believe I would have developed into the artist I am today. Thank you. Miss Haley, thank you for not only teaching me the intricacies of equations and theorems, but also for helping me realize my dislike for things such as theorems. All jokes aside, you have been an amazing mentor for me over the last 5 years I've had you as a teacher. Without you, I would not have seen the same level of academic success, and thank you for always letting me eat snacks during class. And then there's Kevin. Kevin, thank you for always making sure we always got to our destination safely, and for checking in on me every single time you saw me, even when I no longer took the bus. And I feel like maybe I'm forgetting someone. Oh, that's right. Jeff. Man, oh man, I don't even know where we begin. I've known you for what seems like a lifetime. From breaking my arm at Glebe Park, where I fell off the playset, not jumped. That's a little bit of a disagreement there. To our trips to Jump and Fun, and then my injuries with my hips, to finally becoming a student of yours during the pandemic, I would certainly say we've seen quite the journey together. Your fresh fades, massive calves, and your absolutely awful dad jokes that led to laughs of pain and suffering rather than joy were always a highlight of my day. Your classes were always a favorite of mine, and you've helped me grow academically and as a person. I couldn't be more thankful to have had you as a teacher and a mentor. To all my friends, classmates, and family members who have been there for me over the years, I couldn't thank you enough for your unwavering support and encouragement, and the fun memories created over the years. Without you guys, I likely would not be the same position I am in today. To all my friends, and anyone else whose name I haven't mentioned so far, thank you for always being there, whether it was to show support or crack a joke. Especially Gus and Dylan for our late night gaming and our laughs that seem to never end. To Cielo, thank you for always being there for me and supporting me through life and all it has to bring. Your support has been instrumental in my success. Thank you. And most importantly, I would like to thank my parents. Mom, Dad, there are no words to describe how thankful I am for the both of you. Without you, I quite literally would not be here today. You have shown me what it's like to live authentically through care, compassion, and love. Your support over the years has been unmatched, and I cannot thank you enough. To conclude this speech, I would like to pose one final question to all of you. What defines success? Is it the grades we earned in school? The friendships we made? Or what about the seemingly endless challenges we've overcome? To answer this question, I would like to tell you a little story that began many years ago on March 14, 1879. On this day, a German couple by the names of Hermann and Pauline welcomed their first child into this world. Although they didn't know it at the time, their little baby boy would go on to become one of the greatest minds in history. 26 years later, this young man was working as a patent clerk in Switzerland. His job was far from glamorous, and his career prospects were seemingly dim. Despite graduating from college in Zurich, the young man struggled to secure an academic position post-graduation. He was constantly overlooked by his professors, being lumped into the group of students considered mediocre. Yet, despite the mundane nature of his work, the man's mind was constantly abuzz with ideas. That very year, in 1905, the mundane patent clerk from Germany published 4 of his papers. These groundbreaking papers would become known as the Annus Mirabilis papers, and they fundamentally changed the way we understand the universe. One of these papers introduced the theory of special relativity. Another, a discovery that would later earn him the Nobel Prize in Physics. Although I'm sure a number of you have figured out who this is, if you are still wondering who this mediocre student turned Nobel Prize winner is, I promise you, his name is one you will all recognize. His name is Albert Einstein. Einstein's contributions were so profound that they changed the course of scientific thought as we knew it, earning him a place among the greatest minds in history. However, it's also important to note that Einstein's genius wasn't immediately recognized. This Nobel Prize winner was once considered a mediocre student, who faced years of insignificance and rejection before the wealth of brilliance he possessed was acknowledged. As we stand here today, on the brink of our own futures, I encourage you to take inspiration from Einstein's journey. His story is a reminder that our current circumstances do not define our potential. Great ideas can flourish in the most unexpected places, and perseverance, curiosity, and passion are the true hallmarks of success. Whether we find ourselves in a prestigious position or a modest one, it is our diligence to our goals, a relentless pursuit of knowledge, and ultimately, the dedication to ourselves that will empower us to create our own legacy, leave our mark on the world, and live life to its fullest. Thank you.
Thank you, Alex. And last but not least, Mira Weiss.
Hello. First, I would like to thank all my teachers over these past few years. You are the ones who have made this day possible. I especially want to thank Ms. Haley, Jed, Mindy, and Kathy for their continuous support and deep desire to teach. And also Ms. Caitlin. On my way to becoming trilingual,
I would also like to thank my language teachers for Spanish and Hebrew. Gracias por toda tu ayuda. Toda la isla, mi malija en San Leon. I've made some great close friendships at NewGate over these past 4 years, and I believe that our bonds will stay strong even after high school. We have built so many unforgettable memories together. Whether they have already graduated or not, tonight I would like to give them a quick thanks one by one. Lucy, thank you for all of your humor. Vicky, thank you for eating lunch with me every day. Leah, thank you for always being there to talk to. Allie, thank you for being appreciative. And Juliet, thank you for being a kind person. Finally, I have some amazing things planned for after high school and look forward to beginning this new chapter of my life. I congratulate all of my graduating classmates on this special day and wish them great success in wherever life takes them next. Since we have grown so close, almost like a family, this will not be an easy goodbye, but we will all get through it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mira, and thank you to the class of 2024. Big round of applause. Now I know you all want to go find that interview that Lorna referenced to hear them say more as a collective. Natasha is going to start a memory, what we call a memory slideshow. In the opening, it will be all different ages in the secondary, all sorts of experiences that they've had together throughout the year. And toward the end, it will turn towards celebration of the class of 2024, including some of our global graduates. And enjoy the show.
Times are down, your head's in clouds. You look around and waste around, you wanna feel it now. You're running over, but don't count your steps. Count your blessings, forget the rest. Look at all the good instead. Already fallen triple times, just know the sunrise. Countless times, open your eyes and celebrate tonight. Just look around, you got people who love you. People who love you. People who love you. Just look around, you got people who love you. Write it down, safe and sound, it's all out. If the rain starts coming down, just dance around the crowd. Let it fly, let it fly. Let the love fall out. But when we fall to our knees, or we just begging for relief, clear your mind, open your eyes, and we'll believe. That's it. Live the life about you. Just look around, you got people who love you. People who love you. People who love you. Just look around, you got people who love you. People who love you. People who love you. Just look around, you got people who love you. We just really wanna relax, chilling out with the whole man, moving out to the school track. We looking back, see all that. Got a heart, so just show that. We don't got time, just know that. So we know our friends and our family to catch us when we fall. We just really wanna relax, moving out to the school track. Chilling out with the whole man. We looking back, see all that. We got a heart, so just show that. We don't got time, just know that. We need our friends and our family to catch us when we fall.
Thank you, Natasha. Thank you to Haley for putting the slideshow together. And now I would like to invite Tim Selden, Executive Director of NewGate School, for closing remarks.
Many years ago in London, in a training center, I saw a poster on a wall. It showed a newborn baby, and it said, "This child is not going to be someone someday when she grows up. She's somebody right now." Our mission has always been to help you find your own voice, to recognize that we're not molding you like clay, that you're people in your own right, and you always have been. You're also interdependent. Your influence, you're shaped by the society in which you live, by your family, by your friendships, by your teachers. We need each other. As you go out tomorrow, when we hand you your diploma, you will officially be graduates of a Montessori high school. As one of that rare band, class of 1963 at the Barry School, I can tell you that everywhere you go, it is likely that Montessori will be part of your self-identity. You may deliberately do it, like some of you have done, talking about I was Montessori all the way through. It may be something you try to escape, but the reality is it is likely in the world of human relationships, of dating, in university, in the world of work, you'll discover around you there will be people who will be a little bit nicer than other people, a little bit more interesting than other people. And somehow or another it will come up, where'd you go to school? And you'll discover that you are part of the Montessori Mafia. Tonight, if you haven't done it before, after it's all done, before you go to sleep, I encourage you to go to Google and put in the words Montessori Mafia. You're going to probably come up with about 40,000 citations of how it almost seems as if it's conspiracy of how many people around the world have really risen to the top of their chosen profession that are disproportionately from this little band of 22,000 schools called Montessori. Lorna, in her talk tonight, attempted to communicate the idea that Montessori is so much more than a brilliant way to get into Harvard. It's not that at all. These schools are not big, they're not wealthy, they're not anything special. You get a great education anywhere. But what we hopefully have attempted to do is three things. The first is to learn how to learn. Not how to find great teachers and be taught by them, but to learn that you learn despite teachers. You learn from everything you do. It is your job to get an education. It is your job to find your voice. It is your job to create the person that you're becoming, and it's not your teachers that made you that way. Your teachers are just them. We are all just the people we are too. Imperfect, doing the best we know how, to hopefully inspire, to nurture, to get you going, but the work has always been your work. Jack, I remember the first time I met you, the whole question was, where do you fit into this thing? And Tanya saw in you the idea that you really had something to give. And I heard it, and I said, that sounds right. And my impression is it did very well for you. For each one of you, you have found a voice. You are finding a voice. And as you go through the world, you will be people who will attempt, I hope, to live the best life you can, to be the best fathers, mothers, friends, lovers, business people, employers, members of a team, teachers, students that you can possibly be. You'll create, you'll consume, you'll hopefully leave the world a little better than it was when you came in. The second thing that we've attempted to do is to give you a sense of global awareness, of global understanding that goes beyond the fact that most of you come to us with global connections. Some of your fellow graduates live in other countries. Many of you came to this place from other countries. Many of you are connected to the global community in a way that many of the people that you're going to go to college with will not have. We hope you have a sense of what Montessori called the great lessons, the cosmic picture, the idea that your life has value, that your contribution has value, that the world's problems can only be solved by people like us. It won't be the statesmen necessarily. It will be the quiet people working to find common ground, to find a way to understand people who are profoundly different from us and to make it better. We hope, and that is what NewGate stands for. I think you've all heard that, Global Awareness Through Education. I still think it's a crazy name of a prison in London, but it is our name. It was chosen by people just like us who felt that was the right reflection of what we wanted to be as a school. And the last thing we've attempted to teach you is that schools are not about buildings or buses or laboratories or libraries, because the world is the school. The school is in your life, in your heart, in your creativity, in the things you attempt to do. Regardless of how you earn your living, there is a place for every one of us in this world. Finding that common ground, finding a way to have balance and peace in your life, of celebrating life, of being the best human beings that you can. That's the lesson we hope we share. Schools are nothing but people. This school has had the most challenging year, the most challenging year I have ever seen in any school. And we rode this year together, whether we spent every day in a room together or not. I thank you for being here. I thank you for sticking with it. It was a challenge. I think it broke Tanya's heart. It certainly has been a challenge to me, to almost every one of you, to your teachers. It's been hard. And it's lots of different issues. How do you deal with a world after COVID? How do you deal with a world after hurricanes? How do you deal with a school that is not wealthy, that has buildings that need to be rebuilt? I don't know. I only know that we will do it together, that you, the graduates of this year, may think you're about to walk away, but the reality is the journey just begins. A fellow who graduated before you, Ben Bogart, would say it's something like this. I remember he said in his speech, and some of you were there when he gave it at Michael's on East, "I'm out of here." But Ben would say here to you tonight, if he was with us tonight, that NewGate is always part of us. We are NewGate, and we will solve the problems together. And we'll do it not because it's the only thing that needs to be done, but because it is something that can be done. And it may be a small school, and I'm quoting Daniel Webster talking about Dartmouth University back in the early years of America. She may be a small school, but there are those who love it. I remember when I met NewGate almost 30 years ago. Lorna McGrath was an early childhood teacher. Place looked pretty much the same as it does today. I came out of a really big, wealthy school, and I thought, oh my God. And I found something that I really came to love. It's not the only school I love. There are many schools, many things you're going to do in your life that will have value and meaning to you. And I hope, I invite you to love this school as my wife, Joyce, and I have come to love it. It is a special place. It is your place. It will always be your place. Myra, we are NewGate. As imperfect as it can be, it is about us as people. It is about our families. It is about what we have done together and what we will do in the years to come. I am truly grateful to you, your families, your teachers, my fellow administrators, my fellow trustees, and all the people that came before us. This is a school worth loving, worth enduring, in a town where money follows very conservative values. NewGate is neither conservative nor liberal. It is simply a place that seeks common ground. Because the only future for humanity is to be able to put aside the idea that because we are different, we cannot live on this earth together. Peace comes from building dialogue, building trust, building relationship, making things happen. We are NewGate. We are part of the Montessori Mafia. And freaking, we will change the world. Thank you.